Hello, you lovely lot, and welcome to a Friday RuneScape weekly live stream. It is wonderful to be out of bed and not lying down suffering from flu. I have had so much XP waste in double XP because of that, but we're finally here and ready to stream. Thanks for bearing with us on us confirming a stream until we knew I could come back and host. But hey, today we're here to talk to you about a bunch of things that are ahead for RuneScape. No, this won't be like a RuneFest style drop-in roadmap, kind of a million announcements in one, but we are going to have some really cool stuff to share, and I think some of it's going to be really exciting for a lot of you watching, so definitely stay tuned. It's going to be a fun show. So joining me on this casual Friday news drop is firstly the one and only Mr. Mod Osborne. How you doing, Mod Osborne?
Hello, thank you. I'm hoping you're feeling better. You look good to average.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, average is what I aim for. So. Just before we do go any further, though, I do want to say it's a pretty big week here at Jagex Towers, because if you can believe it, Mod Osborne, a JMod icon among us, has officially hit 15 years at Jagex, which is just insane. So please do give him a big shout out in the chat. What an achievement that is. And, you know, Mod Osborne, I don't know, how are you feeling after 15 years? How are you coping?
Oh, man. So old. It makes me feel so old. It's really weird to know that the players could probably build a flip book of my face over the course of 15 years, see the age and wrinkles appear. But yeah, I love it. May there be another 15 years. I joined when RuneScape was 5 years old, and honestly, I thought I was at the tail end of RuneScape at that point, and who knew? Another 15. It's great.
I know, who knew? And another JMod icon among us, and to give us a preview of something very new on the horizon, it's a mini Stu special today. It's Mod Stu. How you doing, Stu?
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be back on the stream. I'm looking forward to this.
I feel like sometimes I'm like the JMod hype man of the studio. I need to come up with a little unique intro for everybody. So, all right, just before we get into the juicy bits of this, something, speaking of things along parts of RuneScape, I don't know where I was going with that. I think it's time we temporarily flip channels to the J/QVC channel, because I think Mod Spear's hands have something to show us. Mod Spear's hands, are you there? Hello, Mod Spear's hands. Anna loves her. So, RuneScape, first 20 years is out. Spear, are you on mic at all? No, Spear's only his hands. His mouth doesn't exist. But RuneScape first 20 years. If you don't know, this book has had a couple of delays because of the global shipping issues out there, but it's out now. It's a hell of a book, you know, chronology going through 20 years of RuneScape history, gorgeous concept art, tons of detail. I think Spear is pointing out my mod name in there, by the way, which is really strange that I got to be in this book. Was a very odd experience. But it is a beautifully told story over the 20 years of RuneScape about all the major moments that some of you may not have even heard of. Concept art galore, making up behind the scenes. And I know, Mod Osborne, you were a huge part of this as well. What were some of your kind of standout moments in this book that made it in?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, the highlight for me has got to be finally delivering information on the expansion that never was. So there is a chunk on expansion 2, the post Menopause expansion, which is great. I really loved being able to trawl the archives and find imagery that people haven't seen before. That was one of the aims. Like, people have seen artwork plastered over our website all the time, but actually finding stuff that might be new, that was good.
Yeah, I know, and honestly, the thing that I've really loved is that it goes all the way up to the present day as well, and like seeing stuff that I've had the privilege to work on mixed in there with things that I never even knew happened. It's a hell of a book. You can pick it up at all good comic book stores. There's a bunch of links on our website. If you go to runescape.com right now, right at the top we have an article that will give you all the information you need to see. A ton of previews from inside the book. If you're not sure if it's for you, you can kind of get a taste of it and make a decision. But I'd really recommend it. It's a gorgeous hardback cover as well. You know, it really feels super premium and really cool. So if you're a big RuneScape fan, or maybe you know someone for Christmas that would love that as a gift, do check it out. Right, we're going to move away from the JVC channel. Thanks, Spear's hands. Right, so yeah, like I said, that book is really awesome, and we've hashtag added it. So we're going to go on to what we've come here to talk about, which is what's coming up for RuneScape, and kind of we're going to talk about some things in the near future, and we're going to kind of give you some indications of some bigger stuff too. So first, let's talk about since last November, right? So Mod Osborne, we've had a hell of a year since last November. A lot's happened, including a login lockout among all of it as well, which I always forget happened last year. What have been some of your highlights from what the team's been able to do in the past year?
Yeah, I mean, I think when people look back at 2021, and rightly so, it'll probably become an Elder God Wars year. Like, what was 2021? It was the Elder God Wars dungeon. And I sometimes forget just how much of a big bet that was, like how much of a leap that was in terms of like player expectations of what a God Wars dungeon is. You know, we took a bit of a jump into the beyond about whether or not we could do a sequence of bosses, and those bosses aren't necessarily all massable in the same combat difficulty area, that kind of thing. And I mean, what I've loved is that the team kind of nailed it. I mean, I know there are players that will say they don't like Croesus as much, or they don't like Zook as much, and that's absolutely fine. That's going to happen. But there's something for, you know, there's something for everybody within it, to use the old adage. Like, I'm so proud of the team, because I forget how much of a big bet that was to try to create an event that happens over a sequence of updates to deliver story, not just requesting. So many different things that we were trying out that was new, and I love that. But there's other stuff as well, like the frequency and the mix of content in the year is just so good. I mean, I know a lot of players are probably like saying there was a lot of combat, and maybe we dial that down a little bit in future years. Maybe push up things like skilling a little bit more in future years. We'll play around with the mix a bit. But I love that we got back to what RuneScape is good at doing, and what I think a subscriber really wants, what a RuneScape player really wants, which is, hey, give me something to talk about and play every month. And it's good to grab hold of that again. And with the diversity, you know, there's a bit skill, bit combat, bit story, and it bleeds in. Like the edges are less defined now. Everything's bleeding in to get to each other. We had archaeology come in and combat content, for example. I think that's something I'd love to see more of. And Ninja kicked out the park, and we've had a mobile launch. You know, it's been good.
Yeah, I think for me as well, like, just before we jump on, I know this is in kind of talking points, but the quest for me, I've become more of a combat person because of JVM and EGW, and I've fallen in love with PVMing in it. But quests were always my bread and butter, and it was so awesome to have things like Azanadra's quest. Even, I think this fell into last November. I may be getting my timers wrong. It might be last October, but Desperate Measures as well. You know, we had a bunch of quests coming in, and lore and all these kind of even storytelling within the content we did that was a personal favourite for mine. And I know for many people out there, seeing the return of quest was a big thing as well. And obviously, we're talking about this from November to November. And, you know, we've told you about this before we tuned in. The reason we're talking November to November is, you know, for many of you watching today, I'm sure this is the time of year where you re-up your membership, right? Like, you get your Premier Club and you go into kind of your upgraded VIP membership. And so let's kick things off with a quick trailer and show you that Premier Club is coming back this year. So I'm wondering how many times our video team are going to try and use the Zuck music for any trailer that's not a specific piece of content from now on. I'm glad it's getting more use. But yeah, so Premier Club is back, and it's coming back on Monday, November 15th. For those of you who don't know, if you've just joined us this year, or maybe you've never touched Premier Club before, it's meant to be our best money membership. So it works out in the UK in pounds about £4.17 per month, according to the note I have here. And you get all the benefits of membership, you know, day one access to new content, all the amazing extra skills and content that you get through membership. But we also add on a bunch of exclusive instant and membership long Premier Club benefits. Now, something you should know about this year that's different. We've moved away this year from the idea of bronze, silver, and gold packages. So everything's going to be what used to be called the gold package. So it will only be available as a 12-month membership. The smaller, shorter memberships had a bit of a small uptake, and we're kind of keeping Premier Club focused on one thing that we know most people go for. And so what's unique about it this year? Well, you've already had a little sneak of those guys in the trailer, but let's get you formally introduced. Can we show key art that we had in the trailer? So this is this year's exclusive instant reward cosmetic outfit. It's known as the Dawn Forged armor set, and it comes with a matching Dawn Forged greatsword. That's really hard to say with a slightly blocked nose. Cosmetic, and also a unicorn pet. Yes, it's a unicorn pet called Soul. So Mod Osborne, like, I don't know, where do the themes for this sort of stuff come from the team? How do you go about designing the cosmetics that will come in something like Premier Club? Where does it come from?
Well, the easy answer this time actually is Mod Eero. So obviously you've met Mod Eero from Avatar Rework kind of streams, but he's been trying to capture the visual identity of RuneScape. We've done lots of studies into trying to bring back the medieval fantasy in RuneScape, and so we did a lot of concept work, a lot of studies, and this was one of them. And we decided that we loved it so much that we kind of push it up and put it on Premier Club. But one of the benefits of this is you get to see a new impetus, that desire to show more medieval armors, things that fit in with, rather than necessarily kind of particles everywhere and wings, etc. That we're trying to be more grounded.
Cool. And obviously, on top of those instant rewards that you'll usually see, I think it's 150,000 loyalty points and stuff like that. You'll also get a free monthly daily keys for your first month. That's kind of an added little bonus this month, and 3 Premier Club tokens. And then again, for those of you who don't know, and we're going to show you a little graph here, just for any of you who haven't seen Premier Club before, this is a comparison of what you get from a standard membership. Obviously, the one thing I will say about this table is it says RuneScape membership like it's one line in a box, but that is a huge thing in and of itself. But you also get all these VIP benefits. So you get the 100 bank spaces you come to know, the Premier Pass for all the Yak Tracks whilst your Premier Club's running, and plenty more. And we're going to have all the info about this on our website straight after the stream. So if you're interested in it, that'll be what it is. Finally, just to announce the pricing in case you haven't caught it, this year Premier Club costs 49.99 GBP, 64.99 euros, and 69.99 USD. And I know the team have been doing some work to close those discrepancies, so they should be a bit closer than past years on UK pricing to those pricing when you do currency conversion. Now, that's the Premier Club stuff out of the way. We want to get that news out of there and make sure that you knew everything. It's great to see everyone seeing the changes in chat and being happy about it, which is really cool. But expectation setting, just before we get into this, right? We've given you the thing, but the 20 bonds question, I'll ask that to the team. I actually didn't put that in my notes. I will double check the bonds price. Expectation setting here again, just in case you missed the start. We're going to give some expectations, or not expectations, this is my illness talking, sorry, indications of what to expect next year a little bit. But this is not a roadmap stream. We're not going to drop a bunch of bombshells on what 2022 is going to look like. When it comes to the rest of the year, we're going to maybe get a little bit more detailed, and especially when it comes to next month. But just be warned, don't expect this to be a roadmap drop. Just wanting to make sure no one's feeling overpromised here. So we're talking about Premier Club. We're talking about 2022. So we're going to start with 2022. We're going to do this backwards. So Mod Osborne, what can we say about 2022 today? When we think about the future, where are we thinking? What's the current thought process that we can talk about?
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's worth talking about what will remain the same. Like, there's a lot of things that we learned from 2021 that will continue through to 2022 because we like them so much. So when I talked previously about that content mix, making sure we mix up skilling, combat, and questing, that is going to absolutely happen, and we're making sure that happens. As I said, there might be some dialing down or dialing up in various places, but that's absolutely going to happen because we like that frequency. I think that one of the things that we would love to do more, I mean, in terms of changing how 2021 went, I think you'll probably expect a degree more transparency. We're going to be talking about, sorry, I'm putting this on you, Mod Hooli, a little bit. This is going to fall to me and my team as well, even more so, that we want to talk more about what we're making. So you'll see a little bit more of that. But when players have been talking about what prospectively could happen in 2022, I think I've seen a number of threads saying, wouldn't it be a shame if Elder God Wars Dungeon as a story ended now? Wouldn't it be a shame if Elder God Wars Dungeon in terms of the content ended now? Are Jagex just going to leave it there? And that is absolutely not our intention. I know that we often kind of stop and start stories and themes at the start of the year, but the Elder God Wars Dungeon is going to make its way through, at least through the opening moments of 22. and we're going to be continuing because we've got so much to do. The God Wars dungeon, I think if anybody has paid attention to previous God Wars dungeons, there are certain things you expect, and we know that you expect them. So that is certain thing that we want to kind of deliver. I know that's a little bit vague. Thanks for the expectation setting, Mod Hooley. But yeah, some of this will be a little vague. Story that we need to keep on telling. We haven't resolved that problem about the Elder Gods, the Elder God eggs. We haven't resolved the Elder Gods themselves. Those have to be resolved. Some of that we're gonna do that within content that isn't questing. And we've shown that has worked. I've loved seeing all of the God transcripts on Reddit. That can come through other pieces of content. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But it is important that the player is at the center of what happens with the Elder Gods. And we've got to pay off so much story. So we have got finale storytelling to resolve this problem of the Elder Gods. And that will be coming next year as well. And that will be emphatic. And that's, I've already seen some of the kind of early work on that. It looks great. We've got some fantastic storytellers on that piece of content. But in terms of January, so probably most likely the first update we'll have in the year in terms of content, where I think everybody knows that we are looking to do something. We're looking to remove the duel arena, and so we can confirm that is happening. It's going to happen in January. But again, there's been a lot of speculation. Wouldn't it be great if the way that the duel arena was removed was done in line with what is happening with the story right now? Wouldn't it be great if it had replacement content? And I love seeing that kind of speculation because that's what's happening. That is absolutely what we've got planned. And so I won't steal too much of the thunder from the team who want to talk about it. But in January, we are going to be pulling that duel arena into our storytelling. And it is going to be slightly, more. It's going to be more additive to the game than you probably expect.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about that, obviously. Oh,
I was just going to say very quickly, apologies, that it's not only. So while we're talking about the Elder God Wars as a story flows into 2021, we've got that intention to not stop the momentum, basically. So the storytelling stops of Elder Gods, and we resolve that problem. But we then move into another sequence of story, another set of updates that are just as emphatic. We almost move seamlessly into it. And so there are things exciting that are coming on the horizon, real tentpole updates, just not yet, not ready to talk about them yet.
Yeah, and I think, it's kind of only part of the picture that we're even talking about here before, right? Because we're talking about kind of our mainline content. There's a lot of pieces to the Jagex puzzle, and I know other teams across the company are preparing for 2022. I know some of our 2022 is very much defined, and you've talked about things like the duel arena moment that's going to happen in January. We actually even have an art R&D stream that's pretty much been finalized that we're really excited to show hopefully next week, all things go well, to give you a potential look at potential projects from the team that they might be pursuing at that time as well, and we'll have plenty more says soon. And kind of the other side of this coin is that while we're trying to just give you some indications, some rough ideas on kind of the thoughts and feelings of where we're kind of headed, I think it's also worth mentioning the role of our new EP. So I know many of you have been really keen to meet our new EP since Mod Warden kind of headed back to Canada, and I hope he's doing really well. Miss you, Mod Warden. But we've had a new EP working with the team to settle into their new role, just absorbing about how everything in the team works. And I'm sure once that process is finished, I know he's really keen to get acquainted with all of you and get out there. But in the meantime, Monoswell, can you just kind of give an indication, like, what's an EP's role in the future when it comes to 2022? Like, what's our new EP kind of, the part do they play in that kind of making that picture?
Yeah, it's a tough one because obviously I'm sure he is planning to come on stream and speechify at you all. Like, he wants to set out like the vision and what he would love to do in terms of RuneScape. But knowing him for the past couple of months now, I'm from RuneScape Old School, and he's carrying a lot of the feelings that come from Old School, in that he wants to maintain a kind of sense of continuity. He doesn't want to suddenly upend the cart, change everything, so vastly different. Suddenly we're on different platforms and different territories, all this lot. He's keeping those plans consistent right now, and that's great.
Oh,
He also promotes how valuable transparency is and player communication. Sorry. Did you
you're here.
excuse
It's
me?
okay.
Yeah. Oh,
The-
okay. Yeah, he values player communication. I think that's probably going to be a lot of what he talks about, like how we can get back to bringing players into decision making, bringing with transparency in designs. So, and also like he really levels us up. He's really interested in us as a team, things rather than being this kind of champion and superhero himself. So, that's positive too.
Oh, yeah. Monoswing, you don't own a cat, do you?
Oh
Oh!
no, why?
Oh, I thought you cut. No, they're good. I just say cats are our worst nightmare when it comes to sabotaging streams. So mine haven't sabotaged any of my streams, but they sabotage JG's all the time. So, and yeah, I think that's the point
It's
to get across. Is
probably
we
children and Peppa Pig.
we do know there is obviously we do know some of what 2022 holds, and a lot of that playing work is also happening for the rest of it. So who knows? You know, when our new EP says hello, maybe we'll be telling you a few more things. And I know he'd love to come bearing gifts and knowledge, and I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything pans out. Couple things just before we go on to the rest of 2021. Where we are going to be making some actual announcements that are a bit more solid and a bit more kind of things you can sink your teeth into. Couple of things on Premier Club. It will cost 20 bonds. It's still a price of 20 bonds. And then the other thing that you were asking is Premier Artifact, is that still a thing? Yes, it is. It seems like it was missing on our table. Bit of an oversight there. We'll get that fixed. But yes, Premier Artifact, and it is still 20 bonds for Premier Club as well. Okay, rest of 2021. So you kind of get to be the center of the stream, Mod Osborne. Like, we were kind of having a wintry theme to this, but oh no, yeah, I thought you dropped then. I called you Santa of the stream, but
I did a little bit.
So,
Here we go. I'll keep
so,
wiggling the fingers.
you get to be the laggy Santa of a stream, because I know you have some interesting information on 2021, some really big kind of news, in my opinion, on some stuff that's happening. So I'm going to start. We're going to kind of go again. We're going to go from the backwards to forwards on this one. So we've talked about January a little bit. Let's go to December. And I know this is something that is near and dear to many of you watching, and also to many of your team. And December is going to have something around death costs. Can you elaborate what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get people's hopes up too much, because I know this has been a huge topic throughout the year. I remember I had Mod Pi and Mod Ryan both giving me designs in this area at the start of the year. I saw a really prominent Reddit thread. You will know who it's from. I don't know if it was Makeroo or that RS guy. I can't remember who put it up there. Anyway, about kind of like the problems with death costs. We all know that they're problematic across the board. Like, for a low fear, for a high level player, it's disproportionately punitive. You're never going to use the most expensive gear, that kind of thing. So it's not. But resolving it isn't simple. We can't just suddenly switch off death costs. There are aspects of it because we know how much wealth that would introduce into the game. So what we're doing is you may have noticed we've been a bit playful already this year. We've tried things like free death weeks with the bosses. And we're going to continue being a bit playful in December as well. You're going to see an update that tries out new things with death costs. And this is part one in many steps in looking at death costs, looking at gold sinking, and getting this relationship between them just right, so we can make death less punitive, but we can also manage the gold injection into our game. So this is going to be a long old dialogue, and we're going to be starting that dialogue in December. So you're also going to see blog work, communications. We want your feedback as we manage this through, because there's going to be a lot of making small changes, seeing what it does on the back end in terms of money coming into the game, and yeah, we're just going to bring you along on the ride, basically.
Yeah, and I know Timbo is kind of working very closely with this, and Mon Meaver on our community team has done an amazing job working with Timbo about how we're going to potentially do this and make sure we can gather your feedback. We'll go into much more detail when we get closer to that point. We very much don't want to take the wind out of the sails of that conversation, but we did just want to let you know, hey, it is something that we've been saying for a long time. We've been having all these internal conversations about. We've seen how important it is to you, and it is a conversation we want to now start externally now that it's being considered internally, and we've got a lot of information we can relay to you and talk to you about. So I'm really excited to see that happen. It's going to be a really exciting time just to see that kind of turn into that with that one. So it's also been such a busy year that you could almost forget as well. It's almost gone under the radar with EGWD, which is it's our 20th anniversary, which is crazy. And we started with that initial celebration event, and we had so many amazing memories and thoughts and everything shared by all of you on social media and our forums and Reddit and etc. over all of that January. And we're also looking to end it in a kind of a celebratory way too, as you would hope, right? So we're going to have some new stuff here too. The first of which is we're going to have the culmination of the Once Upon a Time in Quest Gielinor mini quest series. Mini quest might not be quite the right word anymore, though, right, Mod Osborne? Can you explain a little bit about this?
Yeah, of course. So, anybody who knows and loves Recipe for Disaster, which in its own way was a celebratory quest, that was I think there was 100 quests. There's something called a special quest, a certain category of quests, which brings all together a number of mini quests under a special quest umbrella, puts it on the quest list, and makes it formally, canonically, one of our quests. That's absolutely what we're going to be doing with the fourth and final episode in this series called Finale. So it's continuing that alliteration, the F alliteration from the previous quests.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been following the story, obviously it's taking Relomia through herodom, making something of a hero, I would guess. But it's also followed a pattern similar to the Christmas Carol, moving through past, present, and future, and now we're at future. So we're looking at, what is the future of RuneScape through the quest?
Yeah, and I think we've got a piece of concept art to show here as well that will kind of hint a little bit about some new part of it, which will be interesting. I don't know if we want to say anything on this. I think we should probably just let this one sit. Miles, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to it, but something I think is really interesting. I think something that is really interesting to talk about is, so this has turned into a full quest. How many quest points is it given?
So you're looking at 4 quest points, and we're obviously not going to stop there in terms of rewards. So we're looking at tier 5 magic dice. We've got some penultimate rewards for Maze Caravan. We've also got some cosmetic overrides. So there's a new home teleport, and I think we've also got a cosmetic reward. I'm hoping we're able to show it, if possible.
We can.
There we go.
And that's just a tease, because awesome. in game, this thing is unbelievable. It almost looks better than the concept art, which is very rare. You get to say that on any game, right? So,
yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of very happy people in chat. Yeah, it does look very, very cool. So there's a whole bunch of other rewards like XP lamps and stuff in there as well. And just so you know, this next chapter of the quest, and this will become the quest, is on November 22nd. So you've got Premier Club this Monday, and then you've got the following Monday. There is a little something else you get from doing that quest, but we're going to talk about that in a bit, because hidden in the background after his quick hello, you probably wondered where he went. Mod Stu is here, and we've got another little surprise for you, which is he's been working with members of the team on a new update around something that's coming this Monday that we want to show you. So, Mod Stu, presentation and all, do you want to say hey hellos?
Hello, it's great to be back again. So here we are. I'm here to talk you through a core experience project that Mod Days, Mod Sparrow, and myself have developed for the last couple of months. It's had a pretty quick turnaround, so I'm confident that nobody saw this coming. So I expect you're probably thinking, you're reworking daily challenges again? Couldn't you do literally anything else? Well, the work we've done in the past has put daily challenges in a better place, but for a system with a lot of potential, challenges have some, well, challenges we could polish out, and it didn't take much effort to do so, and here's the result. So currently there's certain challenges that are more effort than they're worth. They tend to stagnate in your backlog of 5 slots, potentially used as a placeholder to prevent that challenge from rolling again. It's not really an ideal system. So firstly, we've taken a look at the current challenge objectives and made some tweaks, which you can probably barely see, in bold in the right column. We've
There'll be a
lowered
news post
several...
afterwards, don't worry.
Yes. This will all be in the patch notes. But
On
we've
Monday.
lowered several target numbers, so they're more short-form goals, particularly click-intensive skills like agility or artisan skills that require inputs. We've also tuned some of the objectives to be more flexible. For example, fundamentally, dungeoneering XP is given at the end of a Demonheim floor, but the requirement of a max complexity dungeon meant it took disproportionately longer to complete than other skills. The farming challenge can now be completed with an animal of any age instead of having to wait until it's elder. Excavating or restoring an artifact counts for archaeology. There's now a herb lord challenge for cleaning herbs, and the herb lord master cape perk even works for it because I'm nice. So there's good flexibility of challenges now. And now that the individual challenges are hopefully more appealing and suitable for short sessions, we could pull on other levers to be more generous. Instead of only 1 challenge per day, you now get 3 challenges per day. However, there are now 3 challenge slots instead of 5, so be careful to claim your rewards for completing challenges before daily reset, as whatever's in those 3 slots will be replaced with 3 new random challenges that you've enabled. Similar to before, each challenge gives you XP in that skill. We've reduced the XP down from huge lamps to large lamps, given you now get to triple the challenges each day. Each challenge you complete gives you a treasure hunter key if you're a member, as you're accustomed to, and there's a new reward listed here of weekly progress. This is where the bonus weekly rewards come in. We've added a weekly progression goal to daily challenges. Each completed challenge increments this progress bar that unlocks additional rewards. During this project's development, we invited staff to log into a test world to do their challenges they would on their live accounts, so we could get a feel for if the revised challenges feel appropriately balanced, and if the progress goals felt achievable and rewarding. One of the things we played around with from their feedback was when to reset the system with a new set of weekly rewards. Initially, we tried resetting on Mondays, as that seemed logical for 7 days of reward chests, but in the end, we went back to resetting on Wednesdays, as that's when all weeklies reset, and there's an established cadence of expectation to that. So clicking on a reward chest brings up this claim screen. Completing challenges progresses the bar and unlocks rewards for you to claim. The rewards for a week are generated at reset, so you can look at what's on the tracks this week and plan your week accordingly. Similar to Yak Track or Battle Passes, there's a track of rewards for free-to-play and for members, so if you're a member, you can claim the rewards on both of these rows. If you're an Iron Man, restricted rewards are currently substituted with oddments. We'd welcome your feedback on that, of course. A common reward on the free-to-play track are a new item, Challenge Skip Tokens. These tokens are a currency you can spend in the challenges interface to set an incomplete challenge to complete by pressing the new skip button on the interface. Each skip token you spend sets a challenge to its target number. If you've extended the challenge, it'll cost a skip token for each half of the challenge. Spending Weiswax from the Rune Goldberg machine is currently rather expensive. It costs half your 100 daily Weiswax to extend one challenge. So now that you have 3 challenges per day, we've reduced the cost to extend from 50 Weiswax down to 30. If you extend a challenge with Weiswax, that doubles your XP and doubles its weekly progress. So if you're extending your challenges, you can unlock this week's rewards in about half the time. Or if you miss a couple days of challenges, you can use Weiswax as a catch-up mechanic to accelerate your progression. This mechanic allows you to be more strategic in balancing your in-game time. You could extend challenges earlier in the week when you know you won't be able to play that weekend, for example, to make sure you get all the rewards you want this week. Rolling a different challenge also isn't a great use of your Weiswax right now. If you're an Iron Man, a quarter of your 100 daily Weiswax for one chance at the skill you want is quite punishing. So we've taken a more flexible approach and removed the limit on re-rolling challenges. You can re-roll a challenge as long as you have the Weiswax, and it's now only 10 Weiswax per re-roll. We also took the opportunity to revise this re-roll interface because, well, just look at it. I hope you find the new layout an improvement. For that matter, we've given the whole challenges interface a facelift. It's now using our new widget and style sheet system for component standardization and our latest true type font style. So finally moving on to a summary. So in summary, we're improving the experience of completing daily challenges and adding a weekly reward layer as an engaging goal for players to more casually work towards. Currently, you're limited to one challenge per day that isn't necessarily appealing. The system needed some balancing and the rewards felt a little stale. So you now have triple the challenges, you get more for your Weeswax, there are more rewards to unlock, and a greater flexibility in how you play. We hope you see this as an improvement. So moving on to the closing thoughts. When this update goes live on Monday, any complete or incomplete daily challenges, sorry, one more page, that's it. Any incomplete or daily challenges you have in your
It's
5
too
slots
special, that.
will be replaced with 3 random daily challenges. So make sure you claim your rewards and ideally complete all challenges before we reboot the servers on Monday. An efficiency tip, ideally complete your daily challenge on Monday before the update, so that you can effectively complete 4 challenges on Monday. It won't count towards your progress, your weekly progress, but it's all gains. Now, because the weekly reset rewards will reset on Wednesdays, on Monday you'll have 2 days until the next weekly reset. We've therefore started you this Monday with enough weekly progress to unlock 5 of the 7 reward chests. So 5 of those chests will already be open when you start playing on Monday. So grab your free stuff, and then you'll only have to do 2 days of challenges, Monday 15th and Tuesday 16th, to finish the full reward track this week. Then henceforth it's 7 chests a day. And that's my 5-minute slot, which I've probably long overrun. So if you have any questions about the update to daily challenges coming on Monday, please hit me up on socials. I'll keep an eye out for Reddit threads over the weekend and JagXStew for tweets. It's a daily system, so ultimately should see a lot of long-term use. We're going to observe how you feel about the changes and hope to make tweaks accordingly to improve the play experience. So we welcome your feedback. And on with the show.
I deeply love you, Stu.
I love you
I
so
love you
much,
too.
Stu. Oh god, the chat slayed me. I'm sorry, like the chat was just hilariously good. That was a really amazing presentation. I know, Stu, you kind of brought that together for us so quickly and did an amazing job on it. So thank you so much. And hopefully, for all of you out there, you're really excited about it. You can get hands-on with this new system on Monday. And Stu, as always, you know, this is the kind of thing where we're always out there listening. You're looking for the feedback, all that sort of stuff, right?
Absolutely, yeah. As I mentioned, it's a daily system. We want to refine it over time. We did some internal playtesting to get a feel for how it felt day to day, but obviously that's a small scale number of people to work with. You guys, the guys are going to be engaging with it. Well, I'll be engaging with it too. I'll adapt it to my own playthrough as well. Yeah, please talk to us.
I think one question I know a lot of chat I've seen in there is, how does this interact with block skills? Or let's say I have one skill left that I haven't blocked. How does the system work with that? Will you still get 3 of the same, or just one per day? How would it work?
Yeah, I should have talked about that one more specifically. It was on that closing thoughts slide, but I glossed over it for time. So effectively, you won't have to re-enable disabled max skills to get the 2x challenges per day.
Mm-hmm.
If you have blocked, say, all of your skills other than dungeoneering, because we need to put something in those 3 slots, it'll randomly roll on those extra 2 slots. You won't have to manually re-enable those disabled ones again altogether.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Understand.
And then say you're focusing on dungeoneering and you want to maximize your dungeoneering XP. Well, go and do your dungeoneering challenge first, and then, because unfortunately you can only roll one. You can only have one skill for each challenge, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So do the dungeoneering one first, then re-roll the other 2. Use Weeswax to extend them to double their XP on them as well, double your progress. Have fun with it.
Thank you so much, chat, everyone. This has been a great stream, and I am just just made me laugh there.
Yep, it's pronounced Weeswax.
Thank you so much, Steve. I know it is. It's just, that's what I love when chat memes something and turns it into, like, I just love seeing the chat evolve and turning it from like Weeswax into like everything else. Just thank you so much, chat. You made my day. And Stu, thank you for an amazing presentation and for schooling us all on how you actually say it as well. Let's just call that out for a second.
Happy to help.
So, on with the show. We have one last thing to reveal. That isn't everything coming in November. Let's not forget as well. I just want to stop for a second and say, let's also not forget about the amazing Ninja team, the team that are developing features, tech work, even, you know, everyone in contributing patch updates and hitting and addressing any bugs or issues that come up. those teams are still doing all that amazing stuff. This isn't meant to be a comprehensive look at everything that's going on, and just I want to make sure we shout out those teams too, because this is not the only thing in the spotlight, and it very much deserves to be said. However, there is one last thing we want to reveal here about 2021. We talked about a little bit earlier about how there's an additional little reward, something with the 20th anniversary quest, and it playing a part in something. And it's because 20th anniversary is something monumental, right? It's something most games could only dream of. And really, it's all thanks to you. Like, all of you make that possible. And the team wanted to do something that really marked the occasion in a way that's truly and uniquely RuneScape. And something that would hopefully be a moment for you and for us and for everybody, right, around RuneScape. So, without further ado, for the first time in 20 years, it's going to be time for you to go earn one of these. Now, on that image, I'm guessing a million reactions. I can see in chat, like, what? A million reactions, questions, and thoughts just lit up in the RuneScape community. It feels like a wave drop moment. Mod Osborne, is that what everyone thinks that is?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Like, when we were sat down and talking about, like, what is RuneScape, what is the 20th anniversary about, what do we want to celebrate, we kept on coming back to the party hat. This is one of the most iconic representative items in RuneScape that there ever was and ever is. So, I mean, I can already imagine the the questions in the chat. There's probably some people's faces, rage coming. But so, first of all, talking about what this is, what it is, we're not reintroducing the pre-existing 6 party hats. We're not looking to devalue those party hats. They represent a certain something, and we want to kind of keep that. We want to keep that captured. But, like, most of us weren't here for the party hats. Most of us won't ever have the ability to have a party hat. But what we do want to retain from the original party hats is they're so exciting to have. They're tradable, exclusive, hard to get. So when we are going to be we're going to be adding a golden party hat into the game with the golden party hat hunt. But this is something that will only be in game for a time-limited period, and you are going to have to put in the work to get it. Like, this isn't going to be everybody in the game owning one of these. You have to show your skills. You have to show your mettle to get one, and then you'll have one, and it will never come back. This is something that you can invest in. It's tradable, so maybe you want to sell it, maybe you want to keep it. That is completely up to you.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, you say it's a limited time event, right? This is something that we're looking to do to mark a moment, right? You were there, you were part of the celebration.
Yeah.
And so this is going to run for the 6 weeks, right? As an event. Now, back in 2001, I think we should go stop one bit, because I saw chat ask this. Is it tradable first?
Yeah, I mean, that's important, right? A party hat is tradable, otherwise, kind of what's the point? So yes, this is a tradable party.
Yeah, so back in 2001, I wasn't around for that. I was an 03er is when I joined. But you got these obviously in the Christmas event 2001, which was 20 years ago. It's where the ideas for this homage came from, I know. Where we kind of wanted to call back to that. 20 years ago was when people were getting pie hats and not realizing the value. I once had one in my possession in about 2004 and didn't realize the value of it and traded it away. And now I have to live in forever regret. So how are we handling it for this end of year celebration event? Are we doing the Cracker thing? Obviously, we're not bringing back the original 6. What's the kind of event itself look like?
Yeah, I mean, that was when we were designing it. We were determined that it wouldn't devalue the sense of what a party hat is. Owning a party hat, maybe not the party hats from 2001, but a party hat should be exclusive. You have to have put in the work. So we are making this something that you gain by fragments. So you make this party hat through gold party hat fragments, and you are doing those through a multitude of means, but you're effectively DIYing it. You are gathering these fragments yourself, and you're putting together that party. You're not getting it from a cracker. It's not something we're just going to give to you. You have to jump over a few hurdles first. And also, in line with what you said about making at a moment, we also want to make this hunt quite significant. So we've taken over the Grand Exchange. So that is, it's going to be this. This is the anniversary quest is also going to the finale is going to be situated here as well. We're going to make this a moment and a place that everybody wants to be in, particularly over the Christmas period.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting, we're going to talk about how you earn those shards. There's a lot of ways to do it. I just want to cover off some initial questions very quickly. Firstly, can you make more than one per
It's
account?
one per account. Yeah, you can only make one per account, but you can own more than one, obviously, as they're tradable.
Can you make this if you're not a member?
This is members only.
Can you trade the shards themselves?
Oh, sorry, I should also note, obviously, as it's members only, you can still, again, buy it if you're a free-to-play. Sorry, what was the question again? I've lost it.
Can you trade the shards? So you can trade the hat. Can you trade the parts that make up the hat?
No, so we really want to see people kind of putting in the effort for it.
And also, what about Iron Men players as well?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see how Iron Man can get it in a moment, because there are a number of different, you can choose how you make it, but Iron Man can absolutely make this.
Okay, cool. All right. So, super exciting moment. I'm sure everyone in chat is just like, tell me how I get one. And when does it start? So, let's start with how, right? So, can you run us through the objectives, what the kind of thought process is behind that, and just tell people kind of how they're going to go do this?
Yeah, so RuneScape is all about choice and agency, and one of the things we really wanted to do was give a little bit of let the players kind of the content that they like determine how they make a party hat. So we want to make the kind of triply underline this. You have to get 8 golden party hat fragments, but there are 11 different ways of doing it. You've got to get 8, and so that means you can choose 3 that you don't do, obviously. So when we give out this list, I think all of us are going to be mentally kind of Xing out some boxes that we just can't be asked to do. Yeah. So shall I go through them?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Right. So first one's kind of a gimme. One is when you approach the Wise Old Man just outside of the Grand Exchange to start this whole hunt, he will give you the first fragment. So there you go. You got your first one. Fantastic. Then it's obviously we've got the anniversary quest, which is coming out around the same time. I think you're going to mention that in a minute, Mod Healy. But if you complete all of the mini quests, then you get another golden party hat fragment. So when we were talking about another special reward for those quests, the fragment is it. So you've got a lovely quest, go play it. Then we kind of got 6 that fall into the category of random chance. Like these are mapped to things that you love doing yourselves, and you've got a chance to get these fragments. If you know Shattered Rocks, you've got a kind of idea of what's happening here. Shattered Heart, Strange Rocks. So one is whenever you get a Mark of War, there is a chance of getting a golden party hat fragment. That's one. Then you've got clues. So whenever you complete a clue scroll, that is another chance of getting the golden party hat. Then you've got the various categories of skills. So first of all, you've got combat skills. Hopefully you all know the categories of combat skill. Let me just bring it up so I can actually remind myself exactly. So you've got attack, strength, defense, ranged, prayer, magic, constitution, and summoning. And then you've got the other 3 are... Yeah, that's one category. Then you've also got gathering skills, and within that category is mining, fishing, woodcutting, farming, hunter, divination, and archaeology. Then you've got the artisan category, which is herb lore, crafting, fletching, smithing, cooking, firemaking, runecrafting, and construction. And finally is the support category, which is agility, thieving, slayer, and dungeoneering. So basically what that is 6 ways of getting fragments that are kind of randomized based on how much activity you do in those areas. So that is marks of war, clue scrolls, combat skills, gathering skills, artisan skills, and support skills. Then the other opportunities, so we've still got another 3 to go. So then you've got tier 15 or level 15 of the Yak Track. So we have a festive Yak Track coming up. It is looking awesome.
Big star on this though.
There's a big star.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, you do not have to have Premier Club to access this. This is on the free track. So you need to just get onto kind of tier level 15 to access that. Then we've got, you can almost see the gold sinking and death costing coming into play here, that we've got a 30 million GP drop will get you another of the shards. So we're going to be taking a little bit of gold out of the economy. And that will get you a party hat fragment. And then the final one, do you want me to go over this one, Huli, or do you want to grab it? I'm
Yeah, no, go for it. Go for it. If you want to go for it, yeah, go for it.
And obviously, like, just as a thank you to those players who've been really kind of loyal to us and kind of supporting us through the years with Premier Access, we are also giving a gold party hat fragment to those people who have bought Premier Club. So there you've got the kind of, hopefully you've got the landscape of the various ways that you can get a party hat fragment, and you're starting to work out how you'll be getting it. It'll probably be a mix of the random chance stuff, some of the guaranteed fragments as well. Maybe you're not so much of a clue scroll fan, maybe you're not so much of a bossing fan, so please do mix and match.
Yeah, so it just to be clear as well, because I know that the chat was a little confused at times. So 10 of those 11 are all through completely free methods, right? There's no... the Yak track is the free track, so everyone has access to that, regardless if you have Premier Club, opt-in, you won't have to spend any bonds or anything like that to access it, and it'll be on level 15. I also hear there's a lot of skill and chill tasks, so if you're not too into your Yak track, it should at least kind of synergize with everything else you're already doing. And then the 11th one is kind of the bit of the bonus where if you're a Premier Club member, you're going to have one less shard to go hunt down through all those methods as well. So that's the 11 ways to get the 8 shards you need. Now, something I want to ask you is, obviously I saw some people already freaking out going, oh my god, RNG, what if, if you look at my luck with some bosses, I would have that fear as well, where it's like, my friend's got like a skill pet drop at like, a boss pet drop at like 1kc, and here I'm on like, 10,000 and I don't have it. What are we doing to protect those places? Do we have anything in place to make sure that you don't miss out on this just because purely you got unlucky?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would hate for that to happen. So we have mitigation in there. So first of all, there's an upper cap, in that you will be guaranteed to get it after a certain period of time. I think certainly there is really strong mitigation in there.
Yeah.
That you might be lucky enough to get it within the first hour, but if you move beyond that, it is definitely ramping up exponentially. So you're more likely to get it. Please don't think that you're going to be hunting around for tens of hours on an individual category. That won't be happening.
Yeah, so the intent really is more go earn this just by showing your prowess across, or not even from a skill perspective, just showing your ability and your ability to enjoy everything. And it's going to be less about the grind and more about the experience and kind of the hunt for it across these different categories, right? It's kind of what you're going for?
Yeah, and
Awesome.
you're spot on when you say I'd love to see people kind of strategizing over, well, if I do kill and skill and I start with doing some skilling and then I move over to the killing, maybe that will help with the fragment gaining. Like I move through gathering and then I'm going to do Smartazan and then I'm going to do some support. I'd love to see people doing it in that way.
We are going to show you the in-game model. We will make sure to do that very soon. We don't have it on us today. However, I will say I saw some people going like yellow party hat dead. We've really designed this to not kind of it's not in any way mistakable for the yellow party hat, right? We've very much distinguished the two for that exact reason, right, Models One?
And even on lower detail settings, it comes out as orange. So, when you haven't got all these kind of specular shiny effects on it, like it is with this party hat, it looks orange. We've made, like, it was in the core aims to differentiate and not devalue what's already there.
Cool. Can new accounts say created this year get the party hat? There's a question here.
That's a very good question. Yeah, at the moment, yes. This is very much an open thing. We've kind of made it so there's a huge amount of... Yeah, that's it, as long as you remember. But there is still a large amount of investment to get it. You have to have done some of those kind of activity tasks to get it. So it won't be, just suddenly popping onto every single one of your accounts.
Yeah, and by the way, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We are going to spend some time just quickly answering them. We are getting near the end. I will say I'm really excited for this because it's, it's the party hats are legendary because they came out in 2001. And you got them or you didn't, and then they passed around, and all of a sudden, more and more were out of the ecosystem, and all of a sudden now, like they're gold dust, really. And if RuneScape goes for another 20 years, which is our plan, and everyone hopes for, it's going to be really exciting to see, you know, people in 5 years coming in and going, wow, I wish I was there for that golden party hat. I'm excited to kind of have that piece. I'm still always going to chase that original 6. Like, that's still the dream. I've got a long way to go until I'm anywhere near that, but it's going to be really cool to have that kind of mark here to kind of remember that I was here for the 20th, which would be cool. That'd be different. People are asking about tier 95 range or new range tank armor, please. Those kind of questions, that would be for a different kind of stream. We're just kind of looking for any questions about this event, I should say, by the way. Can we get multiple party hat fragments from a single method? Like, could I kill bosses for all my party hat fragments? So essentially, could you repeat an objective or a method?
No, I'm afraid not. Yeah, we're trying to go for like kind of show your ability across all of RuneScape rather than just in one category. So no, I'm afraid.
I saw someone ask about the Play Avatar projects. We're going to talk about that in the R&D stream next week. It's not gone. It's just in the same position it was when we last talked about it. Is essentially it's temporarily iced whilst we work out through some technical issues. And Mod Mike talks about this. We're looking at potential, again, nothing to confirm, but we're looking at potentially if we can help solve those issues by having beta worlds or some sort of beta experience with it, so we can find all the issues we need to find and actually properly fix them as well. Okay, sorry, I'm just scrolling as best I can.
Is it worth noting dates and grace periods?
It is. We haven't announced that, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about dates and grace periods before we get, and I'll gather some more questions. So when does it start, firstly? Because I'm sure everyone is like on the edge of their seat now. Like, do I have to cancel my weekend?
No, we're giving it some breathing room from the XP. Don't worry. So it's starting on the 22nd of November. So that is the same day that the final Once Upon a Time mini quest comes out as well. So see, because you get a fragment for completing it, it makes a lot of sense that those kind of converge. And it ends on January 3rd. So when I say end, that means that you will only be able to gain fragments up until January 3rd. And then in terms of redeeming your fragments, we're going to have a 2-week grace period afterwards. So for 2 weeks after, so the 15th, my 17th, sorry, my maths is rubbish. You will have the ability to kind of cash in those fragments. So hopefully that's
then it's gone, right? And that's the thing we want to make really clear is like, when that period ends, you're not going to be able to earn any more shards. Even if you want away, that's it. It's very much a be there, be part of the moment. Now, 6 weeks is quite a long time for the way the objectives are scaled. I know the team's been kind of making it balance. It's not, as we talked about, also, it's not intended to be in a super grind, but you are going to have to play. It is going to take some time, right? We try to. It's meant to be more of a have fun and enjoy yourself and have fun hunting these pieces rather than, you know, get ready to lose 200 hours to hunting pieces, right?
Oh yeah, spot on. Like I'm expecting. I mean, I don't want to give exact numbers because that kind of
no, of course not. No.
Mystique a little bit, but I would imagine most people will be getting a couple of party fragments an evening. You know, that kind of thing, making real headway over the course of a week.
Question here: can you get more fragments if you craft one party hat?
There's no reason to.
Yeah, even if you can't do anything with them.
Yeah, so. No, I'm afraid not.
And you can only craft one per account as well. Yeah. The VIP club doesn't mention bonds. Can we still use them? Yes, we'll get that added to the post. It's a great point. 20 bonds. It is still 20 bonds for Premier Club, by the way. It's still very much there. Any dev cost questions? That'll be something we'll talk about when we start that conversation in December. I really don't want to take the wind out of Timbo and the team and all the amazing work they've been doing there to talk about that stuff. I know you're very keen to talk about it. We just wanted to let you know it is something that's going to talk about that as well. For the shards, how will you differentiate between shards you've already earned is a common question I've seen in chat. There is an amazing little UI marker. The team did an amazing job on it. It's really clear. And it's essentially like a checkbox, right, Mod Osborne?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, basically, you're just punching and ticking every single one that you've done. It'll be very obvious, I'm hoping.
Yeah, so you'll know which one there. There's some questions in the chat, actually, that I think are really good questions. And I'll be honest, we've had so much going on this week when I've been kind of come back that I haven't got answers to off the top of my head. But I've seen questions about if I'm an existing Premier Club owner, do I get the extra shard? I think I know the answer to that, but I don't want to say anything without not 100% knowledge, so we'll get that answer out there. And also, do you know the answer to that, Models One, just
I
out
don't,
of
I'm
interest?
afraid. Sorry. No.
Okay. I saw the other question as well is what if I've got a grandfather rate, etc., etc. We'll get you all those questions. So I'm sure many of you will ask those out in the community. We'll work next week to try and get those answers with the team and just make sure we get the information out there. We'll probably get it into the actual post itself, just to clarify that stuff. And we'll also make sure to debut a look of it in game as well.
Maybe we could
Yeah,
give it
Newspaper
to
says you
Ruben
need
for
to
the
buy
write-up as well.
2022 Premiere. I do believe you do, but I want to confirm that as well, just to make sure. Cool. All right. To all of you who have been watching, thanks so much for joining us. We dropped a huge bomb. Stu's been sitting there quietly smiling and observing. Stu,
Emerging in the background.
excited, Stu?
Oh yes, definitely. Hell yeah.
Good.
He's applying his wax.
Yeah, exactly. Modest, is there anything you want to say before we close out? We are running over time, and I know everyone's got to go, but
Oh, right. No, not at all. Just good luck with getting that party hat. Go for it. I enjoy Shang-Chi tonight. I'm going to be. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, to all of you watching, thanks so much for joining us live. We love these moments. We love doing it live. We didn't want to just drop this news, and we wanted to get on a stream. We hope you had fun. We know it's not all been like concrete in deep dive detail, but we wanted to give you an idea of what's next after Elder God Wars Dungeon. We hope this has given you some things to hang on to. And as Modern Osborne talked about, we are looking to be more transparent and up our level of kind of insight. So while it might not be now on certain things in 2022, that will come. To all of you, just thank you so much for being part of this moment. We hope you enjoy the celebration with the Golden Party Hat Hunt. We can't wait to see all the stories and all the moments shared and see you all rocking them. And there's 3 articles up on RuneScape.com right now. So we've got one on Premier Club 2022, we have one on the new quest, and we have one on this Golden Party Hat Hunt. So as a reminder of those dates, Premier Club launches on the 15th alongside Stu and the team's daily challenge upgrade and the new weekly bonus kind of rewards. And then the week after, we're going to have the Golden Party Hat Hunt and we're going to have that new RS20 quest. And also you'll be get to magical tier 5 dice, so maybe some of you will get lucky and get dice and make me jealous because Spear got them twice from magical dice, and I'm still salty about it because I got no good rewards. And then in December we'll be talking about death costs, and then obviously in January we're going to really kick things off in style with the Elder God Wars next chapter, which will be the Duel Arena's transformation from being what it is today to something entirely different, and we're excited to talk to you about that. For now, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed all the news. I'm going to go rest my voice, and until then we'll see you next week, Scapers. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely weekend.